way because I saw that there was a lot of YouTubers making very valid points against that practice, that it is basically stealing from them. And there's plenty of like outliers you can point to where a YouTuber or streamer is reacting to someone else's content and it actually helps that content creator grow. There's plenty of cases of that happening, but it's not the norm. Let me give you an example of something. I watched a masterpiece of a speedrun documentary on stream once about the history of the Hobbit speedrun. And I made 2 videos on this react. I broke it up into 2 parts because it was a really long video that I thought was just amazing. So I highlighted it into 2 parts. And the 2 videos I made from this react that were just highlighting the most hype moments got more views than the original work itself. And the creator that actually put in all the hard work, all the blood, sweat, and tears to craft this magnum opus, which is almost 3 hours long, almost as long as one of the fucking Lord of the Rings movies itself, didn't see much benefit. If you look at the Social Blade here, you'll find that when I uploaded these 2 reacts, which I was praising the shit out of this work and highly encouraging people to go show support to the creator, he only got 2.7k subs from that. And if you look at his monthly gained views, you'll see that the 2 big spikes came before I reacted to the video, and then many months after, when it found its way organically into the YouTube algorithm. My reacts had no noticeable effect on it and may have even had a detrimental effect because it was clearly growing before I reacted to it. And that just does not seem fair to me. Now in this case, the creator of the video, Karma, was in the chat while I was watching it and seemed to really appreciate it and was having fun watching my reaction to it and everything. So like, it's not like I went behind their back and, you know, tried to steal the views away from them or anything. But even with permission, it's not like Karma saw a whole lot of upside to my react to it, other than, of course, just spreading word about this game that they love and the speedrun they love. But aside from that, their channel didn't really see a whole lot of benefit from it. And even still, it's just not really a fair transaction either. 90 to 95% of smaller content creators that have their work reacted to probably won't see any kind of benefit at all for it. Yes, their work got shared to more people, yippee yahoo, but that isn't always going to translate to success for them, or those eyes aren't going to go to them for the original most of the time because they were fans of the person that was reacting to it, and now they just got the entire video fed to them. So there's just plenty of arguments against it where you're just taking other people's hard work and you yourself are gaining from it, and the person who actually made that doesn't see as much of a return. So I stopped doing react content because I never want to have a negative effect on the YouTube ecosystem, period. So I'm not going to be going back to doing that. The only thing I react to now are trailers and news broadcasts, or occasionally if there's like some kind of big story that has a video associated with it, I'll watch pieces of it. But now when I'm talking about a video on stream, like for example something about Chicken's video following the kick predator and exposing all of that, I watched it beforehand. So I was knowledgeable on the topic, knowledgeable about the video, and I talked about the video on stream as opposed to just watching it on stream. And I just feel like that's better for discussion as well, because then you already have all of the information and you can have a deeper discussion on everything at the beginning. So even though people found that to be great content, it's not content that I was proud of, and it's not content that I'm missing doing by any means. But people are saying that the streams have really had a downward decline in quality because of the absence of reacting. And it sucks to hear that. Like, that doesn't feel good, because I still really enjoy streaming. I don't do it as much now, but when I do it, I have a great time with it. And I really don't think the format of my streams have changed at all. I even went back to, like, the golden age of Moist Critical streams where I was React Andy, you know, really fucking popping off. And it's still exactly the same format where I'm shooting the shit with chat most of the time, but instead of, like, watching another YouTuber's video on stream for a couple hours, I go through a variety of different stories that the chat is, teaching me about, reading about them, learning about them in real time, or discussing a YouTuber's video that I've already watched in detail and encouraging people to watch the original. Like, it's still the same thing. The only thing that's different is I'm not watching that video and just taking this person's work and putting it on my stuff. So I don't think it's changed that much. Another thing that I saw on a Reddit post today is that someone said I'm just always on my phone while streaming. And that's a criticism that I'm just going to slap down because you are just making some shit up. My streams during 2020 through 2022, when I was still grinding my RuneScape, actually it was like 2019 through 2022, when I was still grinding my old school RuneScape account, fishing for max level, I was actively on my phone in every single stream grinding multiple skills. Let me just show you a clip of what a normal stream would look like. The Lex government laboratory that we have to take it to where they'll analyze it and tell us if it's real or fake. We just haven't had a chance to do it yet. Alright, it's time. Instantly. Holy fuck. Thank you, Nick. Sponsor iDubbbz for his boxing match. That's such a cute idea. Riveting stuff. I would do this for pretty much every stream during these grind sessions, where I was more preoccupied with maxing my RuneScape account, so I had my head buried in my phone, deeper than an ostrich buries its head in the sand during mating season, and I would just sit there fucking grinding, and then I'd throw on a YouTube video, I'd still just be like grinding on my phone, I'd miss some things from the video sometimes, I'd have to rewind it. My head was in my phone so much more during that period than it ever has been since. And I don't know where this criticism came from, because I am barely on my phone now. The only time I go on my phone is if there's an occasional text message that I forgot to respond to, or if someone messaged me about something important. I'm barely on my phone, so I don't know where that critique is coming from. That one is just wrong. I'm going to tell you you're wrong for that one. Now, I feel like I need to keep reiterating this here, because maybe I'm starting to sound like combative or something, and that is just not what I'm aiming to do here at all. It's totally fine to not be enjoying my recent content or recent streams or something. Tastes change. I get it. At some point, you know, you stop enjoying certain things. Like, it's totally natural and totally understandable. I'm not upset about it. Like, sometimes reading the thing hurts, but I get it at the end of the day. And there's nothing wrong with criticism, which is why I go out of my way to read the criticism and talk about it. And I'm just giving it my perspective here on all of this. So, for example, another thing that comes up is people are tired of me doing so much, like, coverage of things during streams or hanging out with chat as opposed to gaming as much. Now, I do think I haven't done as much gaming as I used to, because I used to do more, like, long-term shitty gaming, like where I'd play a shitty game for longer than I currently do. Nowadays, when I do a bad game night, I'll usually just play like half of a game, or sometimes not even half of a game, whereas back then, I used to just fucking full steam ahead finish those games that I wasn't interested in, force myself to. And I just felt like that didn't make for good content. So a game I didn't like that I was forcing myself to finish, I thought would probably be a big turnoff for a lot of viewers, like they weren't enjoying it. So I stopped doing that over the last year, where if there was a game that I either lost interest in or just didn't feel like finishing, I wouldn't force myself to. Though the consequence of that became even games that I liked playing, such as Armored Core 6, I never finished on stream. I started playing games more off-stream last year and even into this year than I ever did in the past. I talked about this years ago, but I completely stopped playing games on my own because I just elected to do them on stream with others. I went back to playing games on my own, like Alan Wake 2, and people didn't like that. So I started Alan Wake 2 on stream, the stream crashed, and then I ended up getting COVID, so I watched Alan Wake 2 on my own, and then when I got better from COVID, I played it on my own. I didn't stream it. Same with Spider-Man 2, played it on my own. So I do admit there was a lot of games I didn't play on stream to completion that I would have liked to, and I do understand that people probably want more of like completing games, so I've been doing that in 2024. I completed Suicide Squad on stream. If that doesn't showcase my...
Why so serious? Dreams.
Perseverance and resilience, I don't know what does. I have been doing a lot more gaming in 2024 than in 2023, and I am finishing the games again, because I know people like to experience it with others as well, so I'm going to work on doing more of that again. But that's a totally fair criticism that I haven't been doing as much on stream, that is. So I've been making sure to get back into the swing of doing most of my gaming while being live on stream. So you can expect more of that, and definitely more bad game nights, because those are always super fun. There's just been like a flood of games coming out, and a lot of them have been bad recently, so I've been getting pseudo-bad game nights recently too. But anyway, I think that is something that I need to actively work on and have been. So now let's go into another criticism I see a lot of. When I'm streaming, I'm always reading the chat, so I'm always talking with people in chat. Unless I'm playing a game, then I'm usually focused on the game and not interacting as much. But for the most part, I'm shooting the shit, so I'm seeing a lot of things. And it's Twitch chat and YouTube chat, so you're going to see some profoundly stupid statements. And oftentimes, I joke about those things. It's never really coming from a place of malice, unless of course the statement I see and call out is like a blatantly awful one or racist or something really terrible. Then I will get mean, because that deserves to be slapped down. That is some bad shit, and I will call that out from time to time. But when it's just something like weird or a bit odd, I'll joke back with the person, and I feel like a lot of times people are thinking that I'm being nasty to them when that's not really what I'm trying to do. And maybe that's on me, maybe it's my fault for not making it clear enough. But when someone says something like, "Hey asshole, when are you gonna play Helldivers 2? You promised you'd play it," and I'm literally playing it in the stream that they post that message in, I'll usually say something back like, "When are you going to open your eyes?" or something. Like, I'll joke to them about it, but I'm not trying to be like nasty about it or anything. I'm just saying something silly back. Like, it's not trying to make an argument with the person out of it. And I feel like that might just get misconstrued somewhere along the way with viewers watching. And it's something I probably need to be more mindful of, I guess, because I'm never trying to make it like aggressive as a response. Or especially when we get into our heated alien debates, where we start fucking talking about warp drives, and I start getting real animated about warp drives and fucking the WoW signal. I'm never trying to be mean to people talking about it. I am just getting passionate and silly with them. And I guess that's just getting lost in translation somewhere along the way. So it's something that maybe I need to recognize more of, because people seem to think that I'm being mean to viewers, or I'm just a really grumpy old man. Another thing I see pop up a lot is how lazy I've become, where I post stream highlights now more often than I used to. Again, I think is factually wrong, because if you remember the old React Charlie era, almost every video I'd post every day was a React video from stream the previous night. Like, I'd be posting 2 or 3 sometimes in a day that were all just stream highlight reactions. Now, I do still post stream highlights, of course, especially when it comes to like gaming related stuff. And sometimes I'll use some stream highlights in content. Like, for example, the situation with the cop and the falling acorn yesterday. I spliced in like a minute's worth of stream highlights, and that was a topic I learned about on stream and talked about further in that video. And I do still post like entire videos that I compose with stream highlights if I thought the topic was really interesting or if something was going on. But I do significantly less of that now than I used to, and it's really not even close. I feel like most people don't remember how much my content was just stream reposts a couple years ago. I really feel like I do more variety of content now than ever before, and I certainly put in significantly more effort to my content than ever before. No, it's just that big stuff, the really passionate, really expensive, and really like hands-on, a lot of work content is not the content that gets the most views. Like the MWL, or Moist Wrestling League. That takes months worth of planning, it's very expensive, and the views on that is significantly less than pretty much anything else I make. Which isn't the biggest deal to us, because it's fun. I love doing it, so I have no plans on stopping it anytime soon, but a lot of people aren't seeing it, thus they're not getting exposed to this wide variety of content I produce. And even outside of that, like the Dungeons & Dragons show, Skill Check show, that is another massive time investment, it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of passion behind that. It even has its own YouTube channel now. Music videos,